everybody and welcome to today's video. I hope the day is treating you kindly. If you're new here, my name is LatteFaerie and today we're going to be decorating the peninsula on my island. So I have been racking my brain with what I've been wanting to do with this area and I finally decided to go with a cafe. So we are dubbing it the Seaside Cafe. But I really wanted to have another spot that was a little bit more casual, a little bit more cozy, since I do have the Standee cafe on the island, but that one is a lot more structured. It's more of a dessert cafe, you know. So I wanted to have another spot that was a little bit more casual, somewhere where the villagers could come and hang out for a little bit, you know, have some tea, look at the waves of the ocean, contemplate their life choices. I don't know what they do, but I really wanted to make another cafe spot on the island, so here we are today. So I went into this build with the idea that I was going to have it be a single level build. So I wasn't going to add in any terraforming, I was just going to use objects to add in vertical height. And then I decided to add in some terraforming because for some reason I thought that I would have enough space to do everything that I wanted to do, and also add in a couple of cliffs to add some items on top of to make it seem like it was a building or something. But let's be honest, it doesn't look that very good. So it took me a little bit to figure this out, but while I was contemplating on that decision that I've made, I decided to put down my flooring for the cafe. Since this was a new custom design that I was using, I decided to go in tile by tile using the custom design tool, and it is a little bit painful to watch, but I think it came out okay. It was the first time I was actually using this custom design as well, so I wasn't too sure exactly how all the pieces flowed, so it was my first time getting to know the custom design and learning how to use it. I feel like some designs do have a bit of a learning curve to it, depending on the effect that you're trying to go for, so I feel like I managed to make this one work. I was actually originally going to use the same brick that I used in the Standee build, but then I decided that that brick looked a little bit too new for this area, and also since this is on the outskirts of the island and it's also close to the castle ruins and there's a shrine that I've made up ahead as well, I wanted it to be a little bit more natural and a little bit more worn away, so that way it fits in with this side of the island. Some of you may know that I've had this island since I think it was June of 2020, and I've gone through several versions of it so far, which means that I've flattened it many times, and I've gone through different versions, different themes with Opal, and I'm finally happy now that it's sort of coming together the way that I originally envisioned it, especially since we have so many new designs and items in the game now. So I'm really excited to see how the rest of the island ends up turning out, and I'm also really excited for you guys to see how I envisioned having Opal be. So after I finished up the pathing and put down some flowers, I finally came to terms with the fact that I wasn't vibing with whatever the cliff situation was, so we're now tearing it all down and we're going back to what the original intent was, which is having everything be on the same level. The main reason why I wanted to have a flat peninsula for this island was in the last renditions I've had there be cliffs on here, and I really wanted to challenge myself and make a flat peninsula and have no terraforming whatsoever and just use objects to add in height. And this would have been my sort of, not attempt, but like a feel of what it would be like to do a no terraforming island, which I don't know if I would actually ever be able to do because I love terraforming so much. But yeah. Anyways, we're now starting to decorate the cafe, and I feel like you can't have a cafe on the peninsula without having a lighthouse somewhere, so that's what I'm adding in. I'm also pretty happy that I managed to put the stall nestled between the standees like I did. My original plan was to have it in front of the standee, in line with the lighthouse, but that would have left me with not as much space to put down seating. So with the way that I ended up doing it, I was happy because it left me with so much more seating options, and I was able to decorate it pretty much the way that I wanted to. When I was decorating the tables for the cafe, I wanted to use items that will sort of help bring that sort of cozy hangout corner vibe instead of it being a more proper cafe setting. So I was pretty happy that I got to use the tea set that comes from the Mum collection because it has a lot of designs, and I picked the one that has the cupcake on it because it fits in with the color scheme of the island, and I just think it looks really cute combined with the sewing project next to it. I think it looks absolutely adorable, so I was happy with the way that came out. And now that I'm looking back on the build, I think I might replace one of the teacups with another sort of project item. I know we have a modeling clay item in the game that looks like it's a like project in the works, so I might replace it with that. But after I sort of had an overview of the whole space, I am just adding in a couple final touches to make it seem a lot more complete. For the sign, to make it symbolize that it's a cafe, I decided to add in the cinema roll one, so that way it brings in some of the blue that's from the lighthouse into the area, and it kind of balances out the whole build. After I did that, I'm just working around the transitional area between the land and the beach behind it. As I was doing this build, I realized that the beach looked really empty behind it, and I figured I would just go ahead and decorate it too after I finished with the cafe area, so we will be working on that eventually. It was around this point where I knew that I wanted to add in another item, but I wasn't too sure what it was, so I just took a little bit of a break, and then I came back later that day. And can we just talk about how pretty this build looks in the afternoon lighting? Like, it looks stunning. But I decided to add in a serving cart. I don't know if I'm going to keep it with this natural wood tone, but I might end up changing it out for the white version. I'm not too sure yet. But I added that in, and I feel like that helped to tie the rest of the build together, and it makes it seem a little bit more complete. Once I figured out where I wanted to put that, we are now working on the beach behind the cafe. So the first thing that we're doing on the beach is adding in some custom designs on the ground, as always. I've actually never really used custom designs like this on the beach before, so I was pretty nervous about giving it a go, but I feel like it ended up working out pretty well in the end. After I make the patch of stone on the beach, we're going to be putting a outdoor bath on top of it, and in the context of this build, it kind of reminds me of a rock pool, so I just went with that theme and added in a bunch of other stone items into this build. The best thing about this, it ended up working out really well in the end because it sort of works as a transitional build between the cafe, and in the upper right hand corner you can kind of see the shrine area that I've made, so it kind of fits in and makes everything flow together really well. Honestly, the hardest part for this build was just picking the colorway that I wanted for the outdoor bath. I was leaning towards going for the darker grey one instead of the lighter grey, but in the end I chose the lighter grey one because I feel like it fit in a lot better with the rest of the build, and it kind of also makes it feel a little bit more fairy core than if I had used the darker stone. I just realized that technically after this build we are almost finished with this bottom corner of the island. I only have the beach to decorate on the bottom that is next to the Sanrio Cafe and Fang's house. That beach, and then I think we're pretty much done for this quarter of the island, and then we have the rest of the island still to work on. Obviously we still have quite a bit of work to do, but it's sort of exciting knowing that we are making some good progress. I think all in all we're about a third of the way done with the island. There's still a couple more sections that are left in the left half of the island that I need to finish, but after I do that we're going to be halfway done, and then soon we'll be finishing the island. I'm really excited to start a new island soon, hopefully, fingers crossed soon. I really would like to start another island because I want to play around with another theme, and I have had a couple ideas that won't really work for this island, but yeah. We're now almost finished with the build, so this is how everything ended up turning out like. that is everything for today's video. I'm so happy with how everything ended up turning out like, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video as well and the builds today. If you liked the video and would like to see more from me from the future, I would highly appreciate it if you gave the video a like. It would help me out a lot. And if you'd like to see more, you could always subscribe. But otherwise, I hope you all have a wonderful day or night, and I will see you all in the next video. Bye!